Caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The Caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the Caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the Caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Welcome, everybody, to the Caltrop on this awesome Wednesday night, news-packed Wednesday night, and I'm your host, Mike Calderese, and we have our special guest, Fresh Mike. Mike Hall is going to be coming in after the mic's right to tell me where I was wrong, or if I'm wrong, or if I'm fucking right, because I'm always right. But welcome to the Caltrop. Once again, we are your defense mechanism for everything fake, all the fake news, and there's a lot of it out there. There's a lot of it going on. All the fake outrage, the fake BS, everything you see that's absolute trash. We are your Caltrop. We are your protection from that. So I appreciate everybody that's with us. We have a new platform today. We're going to try out YouTube. Let's see what happens. I have a feeling YouTube's not going to be friendly to us. But if it does go there, I'll abide by their rules and just put clips on that they like. But we are on YouTube. If everybody could go to Center Cut Media. Center Cut Media. We are Center Cut Media everywhere. That's how you're going to find me. Center Cut Media page. I really appreciate it. If you could go there, finger the fuck out of every single one of my buttons. And we have a packed show for you guys tonight. Absolutely fucking jam-packed. We have AOC is not AOC. Apparently, she's Sandy. It's amazing. We have BBB, and I'm not talking pornography. We have Diddy. We have Koberger. I mean, there's so much news. It is a day where we could really rock out with news. But first, let's start with the Mike's right. Shut the fuck up and listen. All right, listen, where the hell did all these protesters come from? And better yet, where the hell have they been? You ever notice protesters show up like cicadas? You don't see them for years. They're quiet, buried underground, living in mommy's basement. Then, boom, 2025 hits, and they crawl out of the dirt screaming about fucking everything. Ice cream, iced tea, ice cube. And now they're protesting Alligator Alcatraz, which honestly sounds like something a fourth grade class came up with after snack time. They take their naps. Teacher goes, okay, kids, who wants to name the next zoo exhibit? And little Johnny in the corner while he's eating glue looks over and goes, Alligator Alcatraz. And everybody claps. Says, great job, Johnny. Great job. Next thing you know, the government's funding it. And AOC is, of course, outside of it, fake crying with her fake accent and fake story. And really, the only thing we all want to see on her is her fake memories. But that's right, good old AOC, I mean Sandy Cortez. She's the queen of the Bronx, except she's not from the Bronx. As fate would have it, she's really just a material girl living in a material world. More like a Westchester Barbie with a sociology degree. Her whole backstory is faker than Bruce Jenner's manufactured cavity. She's literally Sandy from Greece, trying to be Jenny from the block, and people can't see through it. It's almost like she's driving a Puerto Rican's car with tinted windows. No matter how fake her voice is, everyone buys it. She's like, I grew up rough, man, okay? Some middle class. A cappuccino machine broke down one time. Darkest day of my life, Holmes. Then all of a sudden, it's great because she goes back to Sandy. And when she's talking all Sandy, then decides to say her name. It's amazing how Spanish she becomes. One name, and all of a sudden, she's Juan Valdez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I can't roll my R's, but it's fun to say. Speaking on rolling on R's, or R's rolling on it, where the hell is Doge? Remember that miracle from Satan Musk? Elon Musk rolled in like Gandalf with 6 budget wizards to save America from overspending. They hyped that up like he was here to fix everything. Thank God for Doge. Every congressman, senator credited them with leading the way into a more efficient future. They tapped Doge on its ass and said, good game, now go sit the fuck down. And Elon's pissed. Literally going through fire for a show. And on fire he is, ready to go scorched earth, like he just got taken off of a Rumble show, for Christ's sakes, saying, I'm going to primary all you motherfuckers. Trump responds in the spirit of honest competition and understanding with threatening to deport him. Oh, you don't agree? You're fired from this country. Go back to South Africa. Doge went from saving America to deporting its leader faster than the Vegas shooter disappeared. Doge disappeared quicker than your fucking stimulus check. But I guess their balls weren't that big, huh? Speaking of big balls, Diddy got off again. This time not with baby oil, but with high-powered attorneys. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on Diddy, but how wild is it the richer you are, the more crimes you can commit? It's like sex trafficking. Now you get off. Shooting people like Alec Baldwin. Nah, don't worry about it. Smacking women around like a hotel minibar while in hotels. Yeah, you get off. Prostitution. No problem. It's all good. Meanwhile, Trump gets held liable on a 30-year-old charge with no evidence. Hell, not even penetration. But hey, justice is blind and apparently horny. About as horny as New York City is for a commie to run their lives. We got the next genius Democratic socialist running for NYC mayor. He wants trillions more in spending while seizing the means of production. Bro can't even seize a fork. My man is seen shoveling rice in his mouth with his fingers. Stay tuned for that campaign commercial. And you'll certainly need to eat with your hands when you see what he brings you. Government-run grocery stores. Because every DMV visit makes you think, you know who should control our food? These people. Get your ration punch cards ready. Milk on Mondays, bread Thursdays, and the rest of the week, suck it, peasants! Remember, seizing production of food, energy, and housing is the trifecta of controlling the moron masses who forgot 9/11. Because those that wish to harm you know they could only beat you by you willingly giving up your freedom for free. Yep. Put free and dumb together, and you get communists and Americans voting for it. Here's the real awesome part. The left that hates religion preaches government morality like it's a Sunday sermon. Feed the hungry, house the poor. But when asked who pays for it, crickets. They scream separation of church and state while voting for candidates whose entire platform is religious guilt with extra taxes. Look at politics. It is religion. Blind faith, mystery, prophets with microphones, prayers disguised as legislation. Remember Obamacare? We have to pass it to find out what's in it. Well, we found out years later, didn't we? It sounds like Holy Communion with side effects. And I never trusted that cardboard circle they made me eat as a kid. On a side note, I did love to sip a wine at 7. But government is their God. Their party is their church. The only difference is priests aren't just stealing your money, they're banging interns and lying about it. From Sandy Cortez's accents to Kamala's mood swings to Lindsey Graham's cosplay conservatism. It's all political theater. A sermon built on lies, asking for your soul and giving you nothing in return. Even the devil gave you something for that. Hell, I'll take my golden fiddle, boy. Red, blue, doesn't matter. It's the same broken church. And the only thing they worship is power and your paycheck. So today, let's unfuck our way to liberty. This July 4th, remember why we were here in the first place. The Founding Fathers started the revolution over a 2% tea tax. Meanwhile, we're sitting here in 2025 paying taxes on tea, gas, groceries, your income, your death. I think they even tax your Netflix password. They tax your paycheck before you even see it. They tax the gas to get to work. And they tax the coffee you drink when you hate your job. Think about this. America started because we said hell no to a couple pennies on products. Now we got federal tax, state tax, sales tax, gas tax, phone tax, and there's probably a tax on me breathing right now. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Brought to you by 37 forms of government theft. However, the real irony of July 4th is this. Our ancestors lit fireworks because they hated taxes. Today, we light fireworks that are taxed. The founding fathers saw this. If they saw this, they'd throw Congress into the harbor. I wonder, though, would they be called insurrectionists? I don't know. But that's the Mike's right. Shut the fuck, and I hope you listened. All right, so here to tell me if I was right or I was wrong or if I sucked ass is my man Fresh Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Yes, good. I have one thing to say. Well done. I love all of that. And I agree with you with most of it. I think you were a little too nice to AOC. I think you were way too nice. She is kind of a trash human in all the ways. And just the perfect example of what the Democrats are doing right now, and that is using the poor and the disenfranchised. They need them so very bad, and they're using them to maintain and gain more power, that kind of thing. There, we always do. Come on, she always acted like a rich kid. And in fact, I got something for you. And then I love Alligator Alcatraz. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Love it.
We could get into all of it. Let's say hi to the chat. Yankee68 is always the first one in the chat. Really appreciate all you guys. Mama Dukes, Goon, Amy. I can never say her name. Freshewer. Am I saying it? Is it close?
Frazier.
That's Frazier? Oh, awesome. Okay. I like the way I said it better. Freshewer. Jake Cal, the PT Pod, Agoon in the chat. Agoon, we have got to get a cigar very, very, very shortly. But let's get into some in-depth breakdowns. You want to do some in-depth breakdowns with me, bro? And we have a lot of breaking news. I can play either one of these. Let's do breaking news. All right, Alligator Alcatraz. Let's check it out. So here we go. We got Alligator Alcatraz. Looks like a whole shitload of cages AOC could cry in front of. Right? A lot of beds.
Love it.
Is that so bad? I mean, what is everybody upset about? They don't have flat screen TVs and tablets. Do they have a gym? I bet they have a gym somewhere in there, located in there, somewhere next to the boa constrictors and shit. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, the earth is your gym. Running and wrestling alligators is your gym there. You know what I mean? Those guys are tough that do that. And also, not for nothing, but something nobody's putting together. They're like, the only things that are really out here of any danger are alligators and pythons. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the only thing that we're not talking about is those pythons out there are invasive. They actually give like $20 per python you catch. I think it's any python over 40. They have a whole show about it. Like dudes going into the swamp and hunting them. I love that stuff.
But dude, that's a great show. You ever see somebody catch like a python and they're like, just help, help. And it's like, motherfucker, you went in the woods by yourself. There's no one there to help you. This thing's rapid, and they're legit in a fight for their lives with this 15-foot fucking python. And the python's wrapping around its legs, wrapping around its body, and these guys got a hold of their head. But somehow these guys, I watched one guy get out of a real tricky situation, but he did have somebody that was there to come and help him. So lucky for him.
Yeah, the cameraman. If I died, I would be pissed at that camera. I'm like, there's the guy holding the camera right there watching you die. So there's that. But and my favorite part about those shows is that they wrestle them and catch them. Then they go walk like 20 feet and shoot them with a bullet in the head. Like, you understand, you could have avoided the whole wrestling part. You could have just walked up to him and shot them with that gun. And no wrestling would have. Like, if that's the end result, is you're going to shoot him in the head anyway? Like, the reason they made guns is so you don't have to physically engage. All right? You're defeating the purpose. I don't understand.
Completely defeated the purpose. I never thought of it like that. Why aren't they just going out there with shotguns? That would make a hell of a lot more sense, no?
Well, they have pistols, and they shoot them. Yeah. Like, after they catch them. And it makes no sense. So,
well, anyway. I guess it's not as fun unless you wrestle it in the woods at 2 a.m. in the morning in the pitch black with a headlamp on. That's definitely how you have to do it. I mean, do they? It's just funny how everybody is like they get these catchy names like Alligator Alcatraz, And it's funny watching people all of a sudden, like, let's bow down to the Church of Alligator Alcatraz. It's like, yes! And the rights over there are like, I can't wait till some fucking illegal gets eaten by an alligator, bro. Hopefully that gets badass there. You know, they gotta have cameras around that place.
Well, yes, and well, you know, I just think it's a good idea in that as a fiscally responsible situation, it's the cheapest. The concrete is already laid, right?
Yes.
For those that don't know about the details, the whole thing is there should be an impact study and poor alligators. And it's like, well, no, we're good to go because there was an airport here at one time. So all the concrete is there. All the power lines are run. All you got to do is, you know, what they did, which was basically put up the barracks and the tents and you're rolling and good to go.
Yeah, they're waiting for AOC to come. Yep, just like that.
Yeah. In all white, too. In all white, too.
In all white.
She ain't getting dirty. Because she ain't getting dirty out there. Look around. Throw that pick up one more time, dog.
Right there?
Is there any
all
look
white.
at the dirt? She's surrounded. How is she in pristine white? Dude, even a strong breeze would get her dirty. How is she in all white there?
That's how Spanish she is, okay? The dirt doesn't even stick there, just falls right off, okay? Okay, yeah. She's got it good. She's so ingrained with the Puerto Rican DNA. I can't even fucking do it. But dude, speaking of AOC, man, she's kind of cute. Yeah. She's kind of cute back in the day. I really dig those glasses. Don't you?
Dude, that look. I know you have like a mixed audience, and I don't want to offend them, but I'll say this: she would have been Mike, you're looking a little small. You're on a diet. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I've lost about 10 pounds the past couple weeks. Thank you, Biggie. Anyway, unless he was talking shit and I look fat, and then, well, yeah, I'm fat. What are you gonna do? I like French fries.
You've been on hiatus, bro. I'm surprised you lost weight. I figured you'd be eating McDonald's and, you know, travel in the country like you were doing. I figured you'd be living off of fast food. And you came back skinnier. It just goes to show you. RFK working hard to get all that garbage out of our food. He could eat McDonald's for 2 weeks straight and lose weight. Great job.
Absolutely. Dude. Yeah. Nothing but McDonald's for 2 weeks straight. Yes. Anyway, long story short, what were we saying? Oh, yeah, AOC sucks. Oh, and I got news from Vern. So my man Vern, who's a big fan of the show, in the chat a lot. That kind of. Oh, by the way, sorry. Back to AOC, just real fast. Her look, her high school look. I loved that. Was the slam dunk, as we would call them. She was cute enough where you were happy to be taken out, but nerdy enough where you knew that you were going to be able to, you know, have a good time.
And you were hoping that the Puerto Rican side of her came out in the bedroom. Is that what you're talking about?
Does. Yeah, because look at her. The hot dudes weren't talking to her back then, but you could see that she was cute enough. You know what I mean? So,
dude, and Sandy sounds hot. I don't know if I was, you know, I was one of the popular kids in school. I'll toss my own, beat my own back with that. But I definitely would have been taking a look at her, especially with those glasses off. No, that's like a 1988 movie, bro, where you take the girl's glasses off. You know what I'm saying? You take her hair down, you brush it out of her face, and you're like, oh my God, I just uncovered this spectacular beauty. That's the way I think she was. I think some dude in the George Soros had to walk into that bar and do that to her, just with his creepy ass hands, take her glasses off, rub his hands behind her ears, and say, "If you blow me, I'll make you a superstar in Congress."
He was her Richard Gere, the Pretty Woman. He took her out of the bar and he's like, I'm going to make you the biggest politician in the world. And had her put on the dress and open the little thing. But instead of a pearl necklace, it was like a voting card. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude.
An access pass into the Congress Hall. It was, yeah. So
I got Boondock Guy in the chat. He says, yo, hit that like button and subscribe 100%. And tell your friends that we are spread out around a bunch of different platforms today. So I'd appreciate it if you tell everybody to get us on Center Cut Media everywhere. There is a Facebook page. I'll be going live to that soon. But there's so many things. Hey, listen, Mike's way better at this computer stuff than I am. That is for sure. And Big E McD, it says, Mike, you're looking a little small. Are you on a diet? Is he talking about me? He said, oh, snap. That was meant for calories. I'm looking a little small. Am I in a diet? What? Son, son, my arms are still as big as your head. You know, no matter how much you guys work out, I was always the biggest and best looking one out of our friends. I'm sorry, it's the truth, but it's not the truth anymore. The fact is, my buddy James is. He was he was always the biggest out of all of us.
You understand? You have fans because we look at you like you have won at life. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, okay, look, dude, you have a beautiful wife, a beautiful family, a beautiful home. A great career that you have ownership in your own company, and it's what you want to be doing. You work with your family. You're loved in your community, active in your community, being able to move the needle for good. You know, it's not like you get to just change everything overnight, but you're making progress and making strides. So, man, you're doing it all. Like, that's a winning life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you have a podcast where people want to come on and want to interact with you because what you have to say in your community is that important. And the cool part about it is you do nothing for the pub. You do nothing for the clout. You suck no D's. You kiss no ass. You know what I'm saying? You sell out zero. And in fact, I've watched you now just in the short time since Caltrop has been around. You've actively done things that you know would piss off your base. You've actively done things where you know your own most loyal followers are going to disagree with you. And you're like, but you don't come to me because I tell you what you want to hear. You come to me because I'm real with you. And
yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. So you're winning at life, just so you know. You are freaking winning. So,
you got me feeling like this, bro.
Well, I'm here in the freezing cold getting free chicken sandwiches because the food tastes great. I mean, it's chicken. It's fried chicken. I like fried chicken.
I love that kid. I'm just happy. I am so happy that you said this. I feel like I'm waiting in line, waiting to get fucking fried chicken. No, dude, listen, I really appreciate it. And I missed you the last couple of weeks. I was looking forward to the car, but I guess you were in, where were you? Like fucking East Bumfuck, New Mexico or some shit with no service out there?
I was in between Moab and Salt Lake City, and I thought that would be fine because you'd have service, but no service. If you're ever going from Moab to Salt Lake in Utah, don't plan on talking on your cell phone much. So just saying.
So it seems like Boondock Guy agrees with you. Mama Duke says 100%. A Goon says winning fucking Tiger's blood. Charlie Sheen, love him. and Boondock Guy follows up with, I love fried chicken and biscuits. And Big E McD says those don't go together. Big E, I think you need to shut up. I mean, fried chicken and biscuits go great together. What doesn't go great together is Mountain Dew and Miller Lite. That is a disgusting combination, and I don't know why those two like that. But last comments on AOC. The real pressing question that I really have for you, Mike, is bang no bang.
Yes. Bang all day. Would. Yes. All day.
All day. In white?
All day.
In white?
Oh, man. Come on now.
That's her covering her face after. Okay, gotcha. I don't want to get too ridiculous with this.
We have a thing. We have a thing that we said if America had in 2024, it would be a better country, right? And that's MD, right? That's MAGA dick. Okay, MD 2024. Hashtag MD, right? Because you put a MAGA man's dick on a woman, especially a liberal woman, she's going to change. She's going to be happy. She's going to have beautiful babies and clean houses. It's going to be a good thing. So
way too much testosterone right there. Way, way, way too much testosterone. Let's move into this maniac. Did you hear about this Democratic socialist mayor-to-be? I mean, unless insanity ensues, and I'm saying this, you're going to understand what I mean in a second. Unless insanity ensues, this guy is going to be the mayor of New York City, and it is Zofram. Can you even say this guy's name?
Hold on. I saw Zofram. Something. Hold on.
I got a naked baby butt in the back of my camera right now. My wife just brought my baby in naked. But no, I'm not even going to try to attempt to say this guy's names. I'm going to call him the great Zohan. That's what he looks like. I'm not even going to bless him with even getting his name. But I want to go through some of these principles with you, and I want to talk about this idea of democratic socialism and what he's really trying to push in in and of itself. But so let's play this. He calls himself a democratic socialist.
Say democratic socialist, right? And I'm curious what you think this means. I mean, do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism. And I think ultimately the definition for me of why I call myself a democratic socialist is the words of Dr. King decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. And that's what I'm focused on, is dignity and taking on income inequality. And for too long, politicians have pretended that we're spectators to that crisis of affordability. We're actually actors, and we have the choice to exacerbate it, like Mayor Adams has done, or to respond to it and resolve it, like I'm planning.
It's Mom Donnie the commie. I think that's what Trump is going to be calling
Mom
him.
Donnie, yes. Mom Donnie.
Zofran Mom Donnie. Dude, give me your thoughts about just his idea of democratic socialism. Do you know anything about democratic socialism?
I was a democratic socialist. I was a
Really?
I was a hardcore Bernie bro for a while. So I feel like I know a little bit about it. I am very schooled on, Marx and, the Communist Manifesto, and then, Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, Abby Hoffman, Steal This Book, stuff like that. I've read all of that and was very, felt like that was important until I learned better. So I do know a little bit about this, and, in my opinion, and I mean, this guy is their wet dream, totally. No, I don't think he's going to win because Mayor Eric Adams is running as an independent, and I'm pretty sure he'll win. And honestly, I hope for the good of all people in New York, he doesn't win, just for the simple fact that, I mean, he's talking the crazy stuff, like government-run grocery stores, which people don't understand means the government gets to decide what food you eat and how much food you eat. And then if they're not giving you enough, and you decide to rebel against that grocery store, because once again, it's a free proposition. They're giving you free food, but they tell you what food you can get. And if you decide you want other food they're not giving you, you then decide to riot or loot in New York, which is common. And then it's not just the local police enforcing laws. Then you're attacking government organizations. And now you've got the feds coming in. And the cool part about that is you basically take all municipality out of it. And you're living in a country where, the government, the federal government decides how much food you can eat. And if you decide you want to have different food, they get to enforce government law and prison and stuff on you.
And
this is exactly where it's going. Sorry.
And nobody presses. No, it's all right. No one presses him on any of the details of this. It's like when you implement that, and he's out there bragging, oh, you know what we get to do? We get to operate, and we don't have to operate on any profit margin. But you know what? You don't have to operate on any loss margin either, right? Because if you guys aren't running the profit, or if it's over expensive, if you think it's going to cost $5 million to run and it winds up costing $10, $15, $20 million to run, you're just going to pour more money into it like the regular person can't do. And then what happens there? You kill all the demand. That's all the local stores. You crush a lot of their demand. These stores need volume. They're not operating on a whole hell of a lot of margin. People don't realize that. There's not a lot of margin in every single one of these items. It's about all of the items getting sold at smaller little numbers that builds up these grocery stores. Now take away a good volume of their business and send them over to this free shit. What's going to wind up happening is they're going to start going out of business. Then sooner or later, your only option, I don't care who you are, is either going to be this horseshit government ran stuff, or the very, very, very super elite are going to have their own type of grocery store where they just get shit sent to their house. Because you see that happening right now as well. That's already thing that stuff may blow up. But I mean, that's really what's going to happen. It's going to destroy all the local businesses around there. And then they get to do what he wants to do, which is seizing the means of production, which he said it's in one of these fucking videos I have. But it's unreal, isn't it?
In the Communist Manifesto. That is like core base. One of the very first things you have to do to instill a communist government: seize the means of production.
And he says it. I mean, this guy legit says it. And you're right. It's my problem with this guy, and not my problem. The thing that I think is going to be very interesting for the Democrats going forward is it seems like this guy's the face of the Democratic Party. It seems like he's the face of the party. This is who they want. This is really what the Democrats are all about right now. It's all of this free everything. Free, get rid of my college tuition, pay my housing, pay my rent, pay my food, give me money on some universal basic income, give me my little 15-minute city, give me all of this communist BS. And dude, it's going to be very interesting watching this play out because, I said something about Silva or Sliwa. I can't fucking say his name. Silva. I think right? No, Sliwa. Sliwa. Yeah, it's fucking tough to say his name. I said one thing about him. I like him as a person. I don't love him as a candidate. And I hope what he's going to do is be able to get this guy to run against him and not run against Trump. What you're already seeing they're trying to run against Trump. And if it makes it to where Trump's involved in this thing, talking about arresting him and shit, he's going to elevate this guy to the point where he's going to win. And Trump's got to get out of this race. He's got to he said his piece about it. Now shut the fuck up. Get out of this race because he wants to run against Trump. He doesn't want to run against the guy who has been working in New York City for the last 40 years trying to do good in the streets. Correct. But now this guy has got to be able to force him to be the face of the Democrat Party. And he's got to be able to get all the people that don't want the socialists, because there's a lot of Democrats out there that don't. They have to get him to say, this is where your party's going. This is the face of the Democrats. This is who they want. Is this who you are? Or do you want to save our town or our city? And then hopefully you have Cuomo and you have Mayor Adams where they break up the Democrat vote enough for Sliwa to be able to sneak in there. What do you think about that?
Him or Adams? It's got to be him or Adams, I hope, because
I don't think the Adams has done bad.
No, I comparatively to this guy, and that's the thing. If you look at, young Karl Marx, if you look at young Abby Hoffman, if you look at young Fidel Castro, he looks like those guys, man. He sounds like them, and he's a throwback to the romantic 50s communist movement thing that they tried to do in America. He's that dude. And what I honestly think is happening is they're hitting fast forward. They had plans. Trump got in. They were not expecting Trump part 2. And they have to hit fast forward on their agenda because a strong economy in a capitalist society is strength. This is what people I don't think understand about Trump, and I'll be real quick with this, is why he pushes business, why he was pushing oil and rare earth minerals in Ukraine, why he's trying to work deals like that out in Iran, is because a good economy in a capitalist world girds you, it strengthens you, it puts caltrops around you. Because the thing there is that it's protection, because you want to protect those oil fields, because everybody's living better. So you're going to figure out how to work with people before bombs start dropping, right? Same thing with America. If we get back to a solid oil standard and get off of the war debt financial standard that we're on now, and we get back to an oil gold standard, and with the tariffs bringing in billions a year,
which it is,
we are, now, and so our money is coming in and being managed in a way it never was before and way better. Well, then it's really hard to push communism. It really, really is, because instead of having a Democratic Party that needs poor and oppressed people so it can't exist, everybody looks at them like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? You're sitting outside starving, and right inside those doors is a delicious buffet with all the delicious food you could ever want and friendly people, and all you got to do is go in there and you're good to go. And if they're like, no, I'd rather be out here and oppressed, we don't take you seriously anymore. Stop it. Shut up. We got to go to work, right? So they need those poor and oppressed people. And the more successful as a country we are, the less poor and oppressed people we are, the more financially protected we are, and the less things like communism can work their way in.
Boondock Guy says, I see what he did there. Caltrop. Way to slip that son bitch in there. Go ahead and finger the hell out of that like button. Hope it doesn't smell after you do it. All right. So,
sorry, that was
I'm gonna get my pew counter going. Like I need like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would need a number ticker going off as you're doing this. But the last point on this, and then we'll move on to the next thing because we do have a lot that's going on. The thing that I see is, and when part of my monologue where I said everyone forgot about 9/11, if you're going to believe the narrative, and I do think that people attacked us on 9/11, I do think there's a religious ideology trying to take over. That I definitely believe. I think there's a religious ideology that wants the entire world to submit to Islam. That I think is undeniable. If you just listen to some of the imams speak, listen, everyone can say, well, that's the radical wing of it, but if the radical wing is 25%, it's 360 to 450 million people, right? When you have a 1.8 billion people population. And one thing that these people definitely know that they can't do is they can't fight wars. They don't have the money to fight wars. So they throw rocks. So they can't fight wars against America. What they have to do is they have to beat us from within. And what that means is get a lot of people in one place and use America's own laws against us. China's been doing it forever. They're starting to do it. And what happens? You get to a place like Minnesota and you elect somebody like that maniac Elon Omar who married her brother. And then now, here you go. You get enough people, enough Muslims in New York City where you take over Times Square. You have the Muslim call to prayer, and you're probably going to have a Muslim mayor. And then when that takes place, if they could get New York, a place that they just tried to bomb and destroy not 20 years ago, but if they could take New York politically without one shot fired, can you imagine that? And this is the dedication. I want to show you guys this because this is disgusting. And, everybody that sits there and they scream that Iranian people want their freedom. They want, this Western lifestyle. I'm not sure I believe that. And here's why.
Martyrdom is a hugely important concept here in the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're currently at an event where hundreds of women hold their babies into the air to show that they're willing to offer their children as martyrs for God and for Imam Hussein. All of that goes back to the legendary Battle of Karbala, where Imam Hussein held his baby into the air, asking the enemy that was besieging Karbala to give the baby water, and instead the enemy killed the baby. Now,
so that's Iranian women holding their babies in the air for martyrdom. Now, is it symbolistic? Is it really offering their kids up? I don't know. I don't know what warped fucking way they are, but the way he's describing it is their kid got up and the baby was held and the baby was killed. So the theme of it is I'm holding my baby up to potentially be killed in martyrdom. No, did I read that wrong? So this ideology, I get fighting against. I 100% do. We've been fighting against it for 2,500 years. We're going to have to. It's one of these things where religion tries to take over the entire world, one in particular, and we have to fight against it. I don't see any other way. Final thoughts on it.
Absolutely agreed. It's astounding. And, I love to be positive and see the good things going on in America. But, I mean, I wish if our kids go, Mom, I don't like reading in school, we give them all kinds of drugs and healthcare to make them comfortable. Those women are holding their babies up for martyrdom. Now, I'm not saying we go that far, but, maybe encouraging our kids to be healthy and strong and join the military and love their country. Be more like Calderis.
How about love your country? How about teaching your kids to love your country? That's a great point. These women are so dedicated to their shit, they're holding up their babies and saying, take my kid. Like some Spartan warrior.
Yeah, and we're teaching our kids, Diddy is a douche.
Diddy's a douche. And I'm watching illegals, or let's call them migrants because we're on YouTube. I'm watching migrants now ride down the streets of America on electric bikes when they used to be on stolen BMXs, you know what I'm saying? Spray painted black. Now they're riding down the streets of their jobs in electric bikes and they're complaining how horrible it is. It's absolutely amazing. Jersey Abe in the house. Jersey Abe comes out and says, Diddy is my idol. And Boondock Guy responded with a whole bunch of laughter. Let's get to Diddy.
He has been found guilty on 2 counts, the transportation to engage in prostitution counts, count 3 and count 5, as they pertain to Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, and another former girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane, what I am seeing right now are guilty verdicts on count 3 and count 5. And I can tell you that prosecutors, when they argued that Diddy transported these women in male escorts across state lines to engage in prostitution, they pulled up a slew of flight and bank records, going line by line, in some cases to jurors, pointing out hotel stays, lengths of hotel stays. They also called in law enforcement investigators as summary witnesses to explain these lengthy, extensive records that they had pulled in this case. I think it's
so, it's very interesting. So the RICO charge, I get it. If you listen to this from very early on, and I was listening to you and Vern talk about it as well earlier on in the Nooner show. But if you listened to a lot of the law experts, they were saying from Jump Street, they thought they were overreaching with the RICO charge, right? Because it's kind of hard to have a RICO charge with one person. The only person you could do that to is Trump, right? One charge with no conspirators. I don't know how that works. That was a point that was made on one of my pages, and I think that was a very good one. Now, they charged him they didn't charge him with sex trafficking, but they charged him with traveling with prostitution. Like, I don't understand the concept. So he's allowed to be a pimp if it's consensual. I guess the consensual nature is it's like, all right, listen, I'm going to take you over the state. You're going to fuck all these guys. I'm going to pay you. They're going to pay me. I'm going to give you a cut. And that's cool because it was consensual. But if he forced her to do it and didn't pay her and she didn't want to do it, then it's sex trafficking. Is that what you understood about it?
And that's what it is. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying that's the law, right? I mean, when it comes to, that kind of thing, consent is a big part of it, man. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. And then the more liberal you get, the more consent is important, but also, that's what it comes down to. If these women wanted to do this, then he's empowering them because sex work is real work and sex workers are real workers, as they would say. And he's empowering women who want to sell their body and he's helping them get off the ground, I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying that's their argument. But if they didn't want to do it,
sorry, didn't you say something on the Nooner show about Obama being implicated by one of...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. And they just blew right over that. That was the whole thing.
Go into that for a second. Tell everybody about that really fast.
Yeah, and I'll look some stuff up on it. But basically, Diddy's driver, like one of his right-hand men, like one of his main guys testified. And this was like 3 weeks ago he did this. He testified. And then you can see the Obama pills. In fact, I'll look them up. But there were Obama ecstasy pills. And he said they were working with Obama. And Obama was providing cover so they could run drugs. Now, there's an entire Netflix documentary about these two East Coast old school gangster dudes in the 90s who got involved in the ecstasy trade. And ecstasy basically gave more power and new rise to mafia, right? Out of New York, right? Sitting a block away from Diddy. And then this guy says, and there were the Obama pills. Because
there were 100% the Obama pills. I remember people talking about them.
Yeah, I couldn't get them. They were supposedly the shit. Dude, to this day, I'm sober now. But just because everybody said they were the deal. They were the best possible ecstasy pills. And it was, a pressed pill. And it was Obama's face in a pill. I'm going to pull them up right now. But basically, Obama knew about these. He did them himself. Michelle, there's some stuff where you can see she's kind of hinting at it at a time. I try not to get that deep into the hints and stuff. But the guy straight testified that he was working with Obama on this stuff that got swept completely under the rug. And we just all moved on. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then that's when I kind of knew the fix was in and he was going to get off on most charges, just like Epstein, just like, everybody else implicated in that stuff. So Obama, I'm going to look this up. So.
No problem. It's the interesting part I have with the whole Diddy trial is just the people that defend him. You're automatically saying, well, it was a jury trial and it was legit and all that stuff. And the same exact people are the same people that are saying calling Trump a racist or a rapist. It's it's very interesting how people automatically go into like defense mode. And I don't really know what it is. It's a very interesting proposition that people go into. But I watched it all on the socials today. You see people immediately blaming Trump somehow for all of it. It's very interesting to watch it. I don't know, to watch it take place. But I really don't want to spend a lot of time on Diddy. I like to have this just kind of slip through like it's wearing baby oil, if you know what I'm talking about. Last point on Diddy. Anything else you want to add to it?
I think he was involved with the same people that Epstein are involved in, that are most of our politicians and, big time folks are involved in. I think it's all one cabal. I really do. So.
Speaking of cabal, let's get back to this guy really fast because I missed this one when we were doing it. Have you seen that New York City mayor eating rice with his hands? Have you seen this? Check this out.
Yes.
So the third holy grail of taboos in American politics, you have socialism, you have Islam, and then you have Palestine. And you are really going for the trifecta.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up...
How the fuck is this guy on TV? He's on camera, shoving handfuls of food in his mouth. This is like third world porn. He's trying to romanticize this third world nation horseshit. And it's like, hey, look at me. I'm hot and I'm happy. And this is what you're going to be under socialism. He's showing you in your face what it's like living in a third world, eating rice with your hands. Now, listen, I eat things with my hands all the time. Chicken cutlets, chicken wings, all different types of chicken I eat with my hand, right? It's certain things you eat with your hands. Rice? Rice, I can understand for M&Ms, but have you ever, even the Chinese used sticks? I don't know.
Well, the Indians don't, and there is a huge Indian voting contingent, right, in the state of New York, or the city of New York,
using their hands like disgusting, fucking filthy heathens. I'm sorry. Let's move on from there because they are disgusting. Did you hear this? Candace Owens. Listen, I've been telling people that Candace Owens is fucked 6 ways from Sunday. She used to be very smart. I'm sorry. There is something called pregnancy brain. I think she's had too many kids in too short a period of time. She's gone batshit out of her mind, and this is what she said the other day on her show.
They say, look, I again am the messenger here. What I was told from somebody that's pretty high up at the White House is that Emmanuel Macron is holding up negotiations to end the Russian and Ukrainian war unless you stop speaking about his wife.
So Candace Owens is single-handedly holding up the Ukrainian-Russian war. Did you need to hear that again? I'm sorry for everybody if your brain seized up listening to that, but she put that out, and she put it out like, I have a big secret that I haven't told you guys about, like she's been holding on to while she was nursing her baby. I'm sorry. I know, my baby, I hope the baby is great and well, and I hope she's a great mom, but she's gone batshit crazy.
So 10 to 12,000 people are dying a month. Soldiers we know of. Oh, I'm sorry, a week. They're talking about, 20 to 40,000 dead a month. Yeah. So, and that's soldiers. Then there's people who are dying because they can't get medicine or food because their roads are destroyed or blocked, or the community is destroyed. So all of these people got to suffer and die because Candace is saying somebody's talking smack and they shouldn't be.
And then
I'm sorry. Now, what's her reasoning again? What is her reason?
She did a story. Her thing is she did a whole big expose on Emmanuel Macron's wife.
Yeah,
calling her a tranny. And it wasn't just her reporting. It was reporting from somewhere in Britain, and she claims she worked on it for a long time. I do know for a fact there was reporting on it in France from like French writers or some French journalists, and they worked on it for like 3 years. There are a lot of documentation about the speculation that she's a tranny. Now, I'm not going to call her a tranny because I don't, I have no idea.
I don't
But
know if
that's
she's a
what all this
tranny
is
now,
about.
but she definitely was a man at one time. So whatever you want to call her now, you know what I mean?
Well,
But she was a man. We know that.
They're claiming she was not. I'm not going to call her a guy or a girl. I don't know. But it's very interesting because they're suing people instead of just showing pictures of her as a kid. Apparently, she grew up as a boy, and these two were dating. Like, she was his teacher in high school, and they started dating in high school.
Yes.
And then it transitioned into being into a woman. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what Candace was alleging in her expose.
All of that is true, though. I mean, it is true that they started dating when
That's true, yes.
she was his high school teacher. She was raised as a boy or treated like a boy or was a boy growing up. And then
that's the part they deny. That's the part that they're denying.
Well, they also say
But can't
Michelle Obama. They also say Big Mike Obama had 2 daughters, yet there's no pictures of her ever being pregnant anywhere ever, which we all know that if there's one thing pregnant women never get, it's pictures of them taken ever, especially when their husbands are senators. Not one. Big Mike doesn't have one picture. You know, and also those kids are so light. You know what I mean? Look at Big Mike. Big Mike is a dark-skinned brother. How's he gonna have kids, Michelle, Mr. Sasha, and Malia that are so light? You know
I mean,
what
he's got the hips and the shoulders to put her. She's got the hips and the shoulders to push it out. But hey, man, I don't know. Let's do a couple things that made me laugh.
Shit, that made me laugh.
Mama Duke says Candace said she is his father. Oh my God. Boondock Guy says, I can't wait for the next Southern election where a politician is clipping his toenails and taking a shit with a Miller Lite and a dip cup in the interview. Can you imagine
I feel personally attacked by that, but I'm going to let it slide. Okay.
Well, Boondock Guy's from Florida. If that gives you any idea, check this one out. This didn't really make me laugh. This made me more amazed, but it makes me laugh at the idiots that would put themselves in this position. Can you fucking believe that?
Yes.
Can you believe getting flip up in the air and then landing on a bull?
Man, we live there. That's where I live. I watch that stuff all the time, bro. That's awesome.
Dude,
I love that. Vern used to do that.
And speaking of Boondock Guy, is this him at his new job?
Dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need dollar, that's what I need.
Feel bad for that son of a bitch, man. So there's a reason the bar's there. There's a reason the bar. Now, it should have a little bit more. I mean, at least paint the son of a bitch orange. All right. I have
aside, poor guy.
I have one more, and I'm going to leave the mics on during this. This one is called body surfing, and it was people surfing on a table. Watch.
On your marks, get set.
And we have 3 tables going. Table 1 takes off now. Watch table 1 right here. Watch this ball. Oh, it's crashing. It's love this school. They beat this ball, but they're doing this. So they regroup. This actually does look fun. And look at these kids hustling. They never ran so hard ever in their lives, Mike. What do you think it's going to be team 1, 2, or 3? Team 1 got it. And dude, you know, I got to give these people credit for schools that, like I said, have banned dodgeball and all the other, you know, stupid things that they do in these schools. That was badass.
Agreed. That was awesome. And that's what we need, man, because there's such an anti-PE movement, you know what I mean? And such an anti-health movement. I love it when there's stuff like that going on, man, because it's supposed to be fun. You know, that's what we forgot, you know. So.
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be as fun as AOC crying in cages. Sorry, I had to do that again because I mean she's hot. We said bang. All right, so let's get on to this one. This made me fucking laugh my ass off, Mike. Check this out. Scientists have created an AI that can translate cat meows into human language in real time with 95% accuracy.
It's that last sentence. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Is there somebody who actually talks to cats who's like, right on? Look, Catty McMeowerton over here is like, yes, that robot is correct. I know. I talked to the cat. How do you know, man? You would have to first be able to talk to a cat to know if you're translating from cat 95% accurately, correct?
I mean, it's as accurate as the COVID shots, right? 95. I mean, they came with a 95% success rate as well. So I guess that's how they're measuring it. They're measuring on CDC findings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
That's interesting though, because could you imagine though, right? Because think about all the stuff that your cat sees that you don't want anyone else seeing. Right? You got a house cat, they live with you. Think about all the things you do in private that only your cat sees. Now imagine if somebody kidnapped your cat and could figure out, could put him under the lights and interrogate them. What would happen?
I think I would trust my cat. I don't have cats. But I think if someone kidnapped my dog and interrogated my dog and learned what they were saying, I'd be way more afraid of that. Because my dogs would sit down, smoke a cigar with you and just fucking rant. Oh man, you gotta see this son of a bitch. The cat. At least the cat's gonna look at the other person and be like, "Man, fuck you. I'm not doing shit. I'm not listening to you. You go fuck yourself." All right, let's check this one out. Ready? China, dude. You know what's funny? Cloud seeding and making it rain and climate control and all this stuff, it used to be conspiracy. And I love how all these conspiracies are just coming true anymore because here we go. China is testing high-tech drones that could create raining atmosphere anywhere they want. They could create rain anywhere they want. Sorry. You see this in Dubai now. Now they're messing with Chinese drones that can just create rain. Did you see that story?
Yeah. It's just taking it next level, man. In the 20s, right? This is something people don't know. In the 1920s, the U.S. government was sued by farmers, and they had to agree that they were manipulating the weather, causing it to mess with America's food. And they had to agree that they wouldn't do that anymore. So the weird part about that is they had to agree they wouldn't do that anymore. That means they probably were doing it.
No, they're 100% doing it. But no, don't worry. Those chemtrails up in the sky that dissipate and then it doesn't stop raining ever in your fucking life later. No, that's just all bullshit. Don't look up and see what we're doing at any point in time. You know what's funny? That reminds me of looking up. Speaking of looking up, it's funny how everyone just accepted this New Jersey drones over New Jersey shit. Trump came out within the first 3 days and said, yeah, the FDA cleared him. And nobody asked another question afterwards. We had shit flying over us for 3 months. Every single night, low-level mapping. We knew what was going on, and nobody knows a word about it. No one said anything to you about it, and everybody just accepted it and moved on. Isn't that fucking hysterical? Don't you just love the society that we've created where it's like a 12-second, we're like 10-second Toms from the movie 50 First Dates.
Yeah, you're right. Or Dory from the Goldfish movie.
62 Wallaby Way, Sydney. 62 Wallaby Way, Sydney. Sydney, 62. Right? And that's what they have to do over and over and over and over.
Well,
did you see this one, bro? Breaking, RFK says that the CDC covered up an internal study which found an 1,135% increase in autism risks from the hepatitis B vaccine. And now, just to show in full, this is for everybody, the Grok, when it was actually posted on Grok, it said no credible evidence supports a 1,135% increase in autism risk from the hepatitis B vaccine. Studies like the 2018 PMC paper found that a 923.4% increase in special education needs, not autism specifically, while a 2010 study noted a 300% autism risk in certain cases. These are outliers. Extensive CDC and global research shows no link between vaccines and autism. The 1,135 figure likely misinterprets early debunked data. Public health data confirms the vaccine safety and efficacy in reducing hepatitis B by 95%, claims of a CDC cover-up lack substantiation. So I want to see this study. It's one of the things that really bothers me about when I hear this stuff, I want to see the actual study that they're covering up. That's number one. Number two, what they're saying about the hepatitis B stuff, it's very interesting. I'll read out the insert because I'm very well aware about this now because I'm going through it right now with my kid. In the insert, it says that they tested about 535 kids and they followed them for 5 days and they gave their parents a report back sheet and basically like a checkoff. That was the way they tested this, and it was not against a placebo. They tested it against another vaccine, right? So when you just look at all this stuff and then you look at the ingredients of them, they're speaking about a lot about I think it's aluminum that's in these shots. Listen, there's something going on, and I don't want to sit there and point fingers and say this is what's going on in autism, but I think when there's no answers to be had, which there really are no answers to be had with autism, I think instead of accepting we have no idea, I think we should start accepting, well, maybe this is a possibility. Stop pointing our fingers and stop saying this definitely isn't it without having anything else to offer up in its place. What do you think?
I absolutely agree 100% with you there. And wow, that was just right on. I was like, but you kind of said it all. Stop.
That's how you debate.
Look at the numbers and go from there. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Period. Listen, man, we are at 9:00. You know the show goes great. Big E McD says he's now a monthly supporter. Big D McD, if you want to become a monthly supporter, I will finger your like button. Love it. He says Skynet is real. We all know that will happen. And then he goes on to get all religious with us because he is our resident priest. He's not a priest, but he goes on to mission trips to Peru. I can't wait to hear all about that. You got to come on and tell us about that. He said sin created this from the moment the apples was eaten. This is all due to sin. Hey, listen, man, I am not going to argue with that. Mr. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, my man.
I am at Seahawk Comedy on your Instagrams and Twitters, and PT Pod Show, PT Pod. That's the best place to find me, is where we're doing everything, and we're doing everything. So come check it out.
Come check it out. Listen, I said it last show. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, Friday is obviously July 4th. There will not be a show on July 4th. If I could do a special, I'm going to try to do something early, maybe pre-record it. But as of right now, I would say bank on no show. That's why Mike came in here on the Friday. He's usually here on Wednesday. He's usually here on Fridays. But I want everybody really to take this July 4th and just get fucking hammered. Let's have a great time. Light off some fireworks. I hope every single one of you has your fingers when you get back, because I need those fingers to finger the fuck out of my like buttons. If you haven't done it, do it and finger the hell out of this share button. Let everybody know where we are at. Tell them, find the Caltrop, become a Caltrop member. You too can be a Caltrop. You too can be your own defense mechanism. All you have to be is armed with information, and that's what we are doing for you. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. The Caltrop is out. Later.